Good evening, everyone. So this talk is about only the Bankart repair, just not knotless repair. So about the basic techniques. If you are a beginner, definitely it will be a useful talk. So I do it in a lateral decubitus position. Sorry. So if this is a view which you are enter into the shoulder joint, glenohumeral joint by seeing through the posterior portal. And your next step is going to make your anteroinferior portal. So anteroinferior portal, you can make it through the inside out or outside in. So by you inserting your long Venflon needle will help you to guide which is coming to the lateral to your subscapularis and identify the interval and put your messenger rod and use the cannula. So when you use the cannula, so make sure that you are using a minimum 8 mm or more than 8 mm because you need to use all your instruments which are going to use to the anteroinferior. So the 6 mm cannulas will be used for your posterior and your anterosuperior portal. So once you make your anterior inferior portal, then you make your anterosuperior portal. So anterosuperior portal, you try to make it between the rotator interval itself, but or you can go lateral to your supraspinatus also. So again, you use your needle to guide your anterosuperior portal. So when you make an anterior superior portal, you can insert through the rotator interval, but once you made that cannula or a 4 to 5 mm of interval where you want to make only trocar, you can use it, or you can use a 6 mm cannula. So once you made the hole, but you can lever it whether medial or lateral to the biceps. So I would like to keep it in the lateral to the biceps so that you don't crowd with your anteroinferior cannula, so that the pull out of the cannula will be minimal. Then once you have done that, then you make the posterior cannula by shifting your scope to your anterosuperior portal. So this is very important because everything which you are going through the anterior neck is better by visualized by your anterior superior portal. So here you are making the messenger rod through your posterior portal, then insert your 6 mm cannula. Once you have done all the three, then it is important to mobilize the labrum. So this is your end-on view by seeing to your anterosuperior portal. You can see how clearly you can see the whole of the neck of the scapula. So you here see the mobilization will starts from the both in superior to inferior level. Most of the time you can see that extension of the labral tear up to the 7 o'clock position. So it is important to see the level of the tear and go and mobilize the labrum. So it may take a long time to mobilize it, but don't it may take a few minutes to separate. We can here you see that the second video I am going up to the 7 o'clock and mobilizing the labrum. Otherwise it is not possible to bring it up to your glenoid. So then you do the glenoid preparation. You can use a rasp or you can use a burr, but usually the rasp is more than enough because it already is a cancellous bone. So you don't need to spend too much time on preparation. So at the end of the preparations, you should be able to see the whole neck in the medial neck clearly like this, and end of that you should see the subscapularis muscle. Once you have done the preparation, then you do you take your suture retriever or the grasper, see how it is freed, because it's very important step. This is the end point of your mobilizations. Once you have done that, if you see the mobilization up to coming above the glenoid, then you know that you have done the preparation very well. Once you have done that, then do the first anchor. First anchor usually I do it at the 5 o'clock position. This is I always use an all inside fiber tack suture tack. So this has around 1.3 mm of suture tap. So I use a double loaded suture tap always to help my anteroinferior shift. So once you have done that double loaded stitches, then always I make a posterolateral portal. This is around 3 centimeter lateral, posterolateral to your posterolateral acromion. Again, I am seeing through the anterosuperior portal. This is the posterior cannula. This is the posterosuperior. So this helps me to take bites in the anteroinferior region. You can insert a 6 mm cannula, or you can use as a percutaneous portal. So through the percutaneous portal, I am using my lasso, the opposite lasso, to take a bite at the level of the anteroinferior. That is almost around 7 o'clock position, because I liberated up to 7 o'clock position. So I want to keep that labrum to tighten that. So I don't take much capsule over there, more of labrum, so that when after shifting my capsulolabral junction at the 5 o'clock position, later on I will come back and stitch it back. So this is how I liberated. So this is the bite which was taken from the posterolateral portal, and and I keep these suture tapes that are out of the two, because I had taken the double loaded. This one loaded these two are kept in the posterior portal by keeping in the posterior portal. But I have not tightened it. But I will go back to the my next inferior important step of a capsulolabral shift, where you take the bite almost in the inferior region. Because this is a very step which may take more time than the usual, but I don't mind in having taking a lot of time in taking that labral bite. So once you have done that, you do the tightening of the. I do the tightening of the second loaded anchor, which I took the bite from the intro inferior. So this is where I do the first tightening, because this is where you are doing the shifting almost from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock position. So once you have done the tightening, then I go back to the which was the bite I took around 7 o'clock. Then I do tightening that bite. Once you have done that, then I take knotless anchor, so that saves the time. So I take the bites and lasso. The lasso was exchanged with the suture tabs or a fiber wire. Then I use the push lock to complete my second and third anchors. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr.
And also I invite you for our Ganga arthroscopic course, which is going to be in the next month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sundararajan. Can we have some time for questions for this session? 2 questions for this session. Anybody? To all the speakers. So, Dr. Sundararajan, with regards, and also the question to Dr. Khalid, because I think both of you showed the knotless anchors. So, any particular indication, other than saving time, any particular indication in your mind, any particular area of the labrum where you would always do a knotless repair?
No, I like a slap tear, like what Dr. Muhammad Khalil showed. I used knotless anchor for the slap tear often, but not for the bankers. Bankers basically because you don't have a control when you do the knotless anchor. So I don't use it for. That's why I don't use it for the inferior anchor. I use it for the second and third anchor, because here they are not shifting anything. Just you are putting back the labrum to the glenoid neck. So here I use the knotless anchor. But the inferior, naturally, because when you are shifting, because even though you can have a control how much you can lock it and insert the push lock anchors, knotless anchors, but it is very difficult to control how much capsule and labrum. Sometimes you may tend to over tighten it. It may flatten up your labrum and capsule. So I don't use it in the inferior anchor. I use it as a second and third anchor, where you won't just need an in situ fixation.
Sure. So your inferior anchor is always a double loaded anchor?
Inferior anchor always double loaded.
Any other questions to the speakers?